Hello and welcome to the Pelican Sports Post-Game Show. Final score from Knoxville, 30-10. LSU beats Tennessee, picks up yet another SEC win on the road. I'm Tommy Krysan, along with Buddy Side. We're going to have some fun on the post-game tonight. I want to get your calls and text messages. Buddy, your initial reaction.
Good to see you again, TK. Hope everybody doing well this weekend. You know, it was a very disturbing first quarter when LSU did not pick up a first down and only had 17 yards on offense, but Tennessee muffed a couple punts, TK. Kind of an ugly game. Weather was an issue. Danny Etling running a lot. Darius Geis, don't know what all that running with Etling. He did set it up and had a nice fake to get the score. Geis did not look good again tonight. Not sure what's going on with him. Darrell Williams looks to be the better back this year. I think he's had the better year, even though his stats don't say that. Defense pretty sound, and TK once again back to the drawing board with the kicking game. I know there were, like we said, a slippery field and all that, but Connor Culp started off good. You know, Coach O said he didn't miss a kick all the week long. Obviously, he missed a couple tonight, and it's just perplexing as we saw that. But all in all, look, I guess the easiest way to describe it is this, Tommy. If somebody meets you on Facebook and they end up going out on a date with you, you're a good, tall, good-looking guy, everybody's happy. But they get a blind date with me, you know, not much to look at and not much to
you don't have Chalmette Chong.
I don't have Chalmette Chong, but I don't have the body and all that other stuff. So the woman's disappointed. Well, that's what it's like tonight if you got a date with me, and that is playing Tennessee. They're 0-6 in the league. You're not going to have your best duds on. You're not going to be that excited about the date, and it was a sleep-through, walk-through type of game. They did what they had to, but I thought it was a very boring game in the first half, and I questioned Matt Canada and some of his play calls.
Yeah, and they started a little slow, and I'm going to give part of that to you're playing Tennessee. Last week you're playing Arkansas, two of the worst teams in the conference. But I think somewhere you have to still find a way. Now, they did, and they separated at the end, and they covered the spread for those that are worried about that. But it was kind of like Arkansas. It was in there. But Tennessee's worse than Arkansas. I got asked that question Friday on the radio, and I said, I think Arkansas is better than Tennessee. Yeah. And they lost very late to Mississippi State today. But Tennessee's bad. But the bottom line is LSU didn't play their best, but they got the win. Last week they overcame some sluggish play and some kicking problems. Tonight, you know, a couple of gifts from Tennessee. I couldn't believe they sent number one back out there to return the punt. But the third time, he didn't go out there. Yeah. But no, I'm sure there's a lot Coach Orgeron would want to clean up. Dante Jackson, I mean, that's inexcusable. That's awful, horrible example to kids. I mean, it's just you can't do that. And I don't care what the score is or where you're playing. So there's some things that went wrong, but LSU won the game. It's a conference win on the road, and it sets up a chance to win the ninth game and to get a sixth win in conference play, which they hadn't done since 2011. They can do that if they can win at home next Saturday night, 6:30, a couple of days after Thanksgiving, against Texas A&M, who's battling it out with Ole Miss right now.
Yeah, no doubt about it. In fact, TK, when we looked at the schedule, the last 7 games on the schedule this year were blockbuster on paper. We talked about it all year long. Those last 3 teams could have coaches that were in transition, lame duck coaches. Butch Jones got fired after the debacle at Missouri last week. But lo and behold, look, TK, I think the other thing that this game shows, and you've always heard this analogy, this kind of thing that's in football, you can't get your guys up every weekend. I know, look, it happens that way. 12 regular season games, I don't care what you do, they're going to read the paper, they're going to hear all the talk on the radio, they're going to be on Snapchat, internet, all the stuff. TK, you just can't get them up every week.
I disagree with that, but I've always said that.
Have you seen a team get up every year, every game?
Championship teams do.
No,
but
they win when they play bad, and that's what LSU did tonight.
Here's a couple text messages, then we'll get to the phone lines. How many successful screens did Tennessee have? How about plenty? Let's see. It looks like LSU was going through the motions tonight. We've kind of pointed that out. Culp is pathetic. They needed to pull his scholarship. That's a little bold, but it's an opinion of somebody. Discipline will be a factor the rest of the year as long as Coach O allows it. Buddy, you and I were texting about that earlier. Another text message here. Concern before the game. All right. The interim coach thing did not help Brady Hoke in Tennessee. They're bad. They're just flat out bad. Too conservative on offense, especially in the first half.
No doubt.
Yeah. Can somebody tell Culp the wind was blowing to please allow for it? So lots of things you can find that went wrong. But again, the bottom line, LSU wins 30-10. So again, conference win on the road. Good stuff. There'll be double-digit favorites against A&M next week in Baton Rouge. A good way to head off with a win there. It's also a very big weekend for recruiting visits.
Yes, it is.
Next weekend, Thanksgiving weekend, will probably be the largest visit. Ken, you got the early signing period, which is basically a month away. Big recruiting weekend, so you can come in with the win. They need to get the fans out there, all that good stuff.
And congratulations to you, TK.
Even the blind squirrel finds an acorn some days.
You won the contest 3 times last year, and this is the second time you've won it this year. But he hit the nail on the head, and here's the deal. Connor Culp is in the tank. Connor Culp was in on this deal.
Do I need to split the sausage
You
with
need to split the sausage. No, you can't do that because it's illegal.
Oh, okay.
That's a violation.
Okay, I don't want to do a violation.
But a couple of other quick shout-outs to ZZ and Al Mix, who have birthdays today. 2 very special people in my life, so we hope that they've had a great birthday. You know, the girl taking care of me and my mama and ZZ at Frank's this morning.
Good.
Had the same birthday. I had a birthday I didn't tell everybody about, but it was earlier in the year, and it wasn't such a good birthday. So glad to see that they got a W on their birthday. But look, what I was going back to, TK, and I know football coaches don't like to say this and don't like to accept it, but you got to admit that was not a game where you're looking and chomping at the bit and saying, man, I can't wait to play Tennessee. They're 0-6, lame duck, interim coach.
I got a very interesting comment here on a text message.
Yes, sir.
And I'm going to be careful with this because this would be serious. I'm not going to say what is in this text other than I want somebody else to let us know if, in fact, Darius Geis made a certain comment in the interview after the game. I didn't see the interview. We were busy getting wired up and all that. But anyway, let's see if somebody else noticed the same thing that this particular person did. What we're going to do now is we're going to take a break, then we're going to come back, get right to the phone calls, right to more text messages here. Final score from Knoxville. We'll also go up to Knoxville and speak to Ronnie Rance tonight. We'll have Brian Lazar of TigerBait.com. 30-10, Tigers beat the Vols. We're back after this pause. Stay with us. Acord Eye Clinic Vision Source is located on Perkins Road in Baton Rouge, offering full-service optical and lab work. Dr. Shonda Acord and the professionally trained staff pride themselves on service, complete eye exams, help with contact lenses, and selection of frames featuring Silhouette, Gucci, Jimmy Choo, and all the top lines. State-of-the-art equipment including Optimap, which digitally photographs your retina. Call Acord Eye Clinic for an appointment. 225-767-3937. That's 225-767-3937. Visit the website, visionsource-br.com. All patients of all ages are welcome. Acord Eye Clinic, Vision Source.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
Hello, my name is Debbie. Welcome to Debbie's Bridal, a Formal Affair.
My name is Raven. I work at Debbie's Bridal, and she makes your dreams come true.
Spread the roar. That's right, Tigers Roar. Each Wednesday night at 8 p.m., Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and New Orleans. Replays are Thursday through Saturday, and the show is available at youtube.com/Pelican Broadcasting. Tommy Krysan and Jordy Holtberg will have the latest on LSU football, LSU sports, and sports from across Louisiana. Spread the roar. Tigers Roar on Pelican Sports TV.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
We continue with the Pelican Sports Post-Game Show on WUBR, 9:10 a.m. Get the free app. Pelican Sports TV, 90-minute program. The TV will repeat Sunday morning, back-to-back airings, 9 a.m. and 10:30. He's Buddy Sanji. I'm Tommy Krysan, the winner of the Manda Sausage Contest on Buddy's Sports Talk.
Good job.
Let's go to the phone lines. Frank in Baton Rouge. Frank, good evening. How are you?
All right, TK and Buddy, how y'all doing tonight?
Good.
We're doing good, Frank. I had a very conservative meal tonight.
I agree with everything y'all said. To me, it was a boring game.
Yep.
I didn't get excited one time, but a win's a win.
Yep.
And I think they're going to have a problem with A&M next week.
I definitely think that it will be a very competitive game. Of course, LSU has not lost to A&M since they came back into the conference, and they did beat them the year before they came back in the conference in the bowl game in the state of Texas. TK, the thing of it is, and Frank, I think you will agree with this. You've been around a long time. All of us have been following it for a long time. And it drives me nuts, but it's true, Frank, and you've heard this for 30, 40 years. Coaches can't get them up every week, especially now with social media. We were talking about all the old school forms of media, but all the things. Look, when you're going to play an interim coach, and I think I saw a draft thing, they don't have anybody in the top 75 prospects, none. They won't have a guy make the SEC team. I mean, they are really bad this year, Frank. So it's hard to get up for Tennessee. That all being said, I don't know what the heck Matt Canada was doing. If he scripted those first 15 plays like he normally does, you need to tear the sheet that sheet up. I thought the play calling, the game was boring. Look, I'm like everybody else. I'm glad they won. But, that was not $1.5 million a year offensive coordinator play calling, in my opinion, tonight.
I agree with you 100%. And, the weather had a lot to do with it. They didn't really have much choice about throwing the ball. So that right there put a hinge in the game right there. But, hey, they won, and what can I say? I just hope they really get up next week for A&M. I think A&M's going to look for blood next week.
It's going to be senior night. They tend to get a little amped up for that. The underclassmen want to let the seniors go out with the W. That's a small part of that. But, no, you're right, Frank. They've got to get fired up. Hopefully they can be a big crowd. I got no idea what the weather will be next Saturday, but hopefully they can get their biggest crowd of the year because they have suffered with actual attendance this year. But hopefully that can turn around.
Well,
Frank,
y'all have a good one. Let somebody else talk to y'all.
Okay,
All right,
Frank, thank
now,
you,
buddy, I want to mention I've gotten a couple of texts since my comment of people that heard. Guy said he did not say anything appropriate, so that's why I didn't make the comment that came in first.
Okay.
Because it was of the nature that we'd have to know it happened and not guess that it happened. So a couple of people did say they didn't think he did anything, made any inappropriate comment. Let's go to Bill in Gonzales. Bill, you're on the post-game show.
All right, Tommy, Buddy. Good to see y'all again.
Hey, Bill, how you doing tonight?
All right, especially after a Tigers win. I mean, just like last week, a tale of two halves. And I agree with you, Buddy, that Matt Canada, instead of scrapping the playbook right now, save it a few weeks and send it down further in Ascension Parish or Toussaint James levy bonfires for old Papa Noel to see, you know. But besides that, it always is good to beat Tennessee because we all know the history of LSU and Tennessee, and I grew up with it.
Yep.
With my mom. I was a year and a month or something old when they lost by 1 point in 1959 to Tennessee, and I heard about that growing up my entire young life.
Well, the problem with that, Bill, is that Billy Cannon got into the end zone. They had newspaper microfilm, and they showed where the ball was over the line, but they didn't have instant replay in those days. And
They didn't have replay,
Exactly.
probably.
and so they got shafted, and Billy Cannon is going to go to his grave believing, telling everybody that he's ever met, that he scored.
I've heard Dr. Cannon say he had no doubt in his mind he scored.
So that was a tough one and a tough lesson. But, Bill, you make a great point. LSU's won 5 straight now over Tennessee.
And, guys, I agree with Tommy. I mean, these boys are playing for LSU. As we as Tigers fans know, they get to run out into Tiger Stadium nowadays in front of, like, if it's packed, 90,000 people or something like that. And, you know, they're the guys wearing the purple and gold. We're the ones in the stands cheering for them. And it would be like an ultimate dream when I was a younger man to be able to do that. But it's like I think they should be up. But then again, you know, I don't know if it's a tale of two halves where we try and figuring out the opponents the first half or not. But that drive at the end of the first half, to me, is how they ought to try at least and come out in the game.
Exactly.
And when the rains cleared, they could have done that the second half. I mean, now Coach O made some comments Wednesday night at TJ Ribbs. He knows the guy who's the interim coach at Tennessee. And so, I mean, and I'm not one for running up the score just to run up the score like Missouri did on them last week, and I think Georgia did a couple of weeks back. But it's like we won the game, and with the Aggies now, from what I see, I think they're in the last minute. They're about ready to close out Ole Miss here at 31-24, and that game's over. They're on a new game. So, you know, the whole thing is that Tigers win. I wish the defense would tackle a little better, and some of these screen passes, it seems like if one guy can get to him and slow him up and he misses a tackle, there ought to be a couple of his buddies coming around, you know, to put him on the ground. And I will add one more thing. End of the first half, I got a little mad at the referees because number 90 for LSU broke through, was about to sack the quarterback, and they hog-tied him, well, not hog-tied him, they rodeo-tied him down, basically, and that's when the guy caught, the one who dropped the punch, caught the pass, you know, on the sideline, and they went on and scored. So, and a little bit other things. They did call him for offsides and whatever, but, you know, sometimes you got to wonder what the refs really see. But I guess that's all the time, right, guys?
Well, Bill, look, we had all of those topics that you just went through discussed here in our meeting room as we were getting ready to come on TV. And TK, Bill, you've heard me talk about this. It drives me nuts. Alabama, Tennessee, Arkansas, everybody can execute the screen pass but LSU. Now, here's the reason they ought to go and spend time with the Saints or whoever, Bill, that can teach them. And I know you hadn't had a Drew Brees over here ever. So, but TK, you can't defend it. So do you think if LSU got better at it, maybe they'd practice it a little bit more and they'd get better on defense? So both sides of the screens drive me crazy. The other thing that perplexed me a little bit tonight, Bill, is that Coach O tells everybody Danny's got to step back, and yet they were running him 10, 11 times.
I about fell off the sofa when that happened.
And 3 or 4 times in a row. So, you know, it gives us something to talk about. And I know there's a method behind the madness.
Now, that leads me to what I was going to ask you, and we can let Bill comment as well. Watching Etlin running those plays, okay, that's part of Canada's offense. Does that mean that if they have the right type of quarterback who can affect others by running the ball, maybe that'll be good news? But again, I mean, Etlin, they talking about his back hurting last week, and yet they got him out there running. Miles Brennan doesn't get in again. That's been a topic the last couple of weeks. And, if Etling takes a shot, then he's in. We know that. But, man, it's just kind of different.
Hey guys,
Yeah.
I'm with you on that one, Tommy. It's 100%. It's like, especially the first half when it seemed like Danny Etling was the primary running back
Yeah.
for the Tigers. And if he goes down, I think Miles Brennan has a lot of promise and a lot of talent.
But he's not ready yet.
He's not there yet. And as far as the screen pass, our problem, buddy, the Tigers just don't run it enough. I mean, they're almost as bad as when I used to be a retired Marine, like I told y'all last week. I gave up on the NFL this year. I've been a longtime Giants fan. And the Giants are another team. They hate to run the screen pass. And it kills them because sometimes, the receivers are going to get injured or they're going to be double covered. And when you got a quarterback like Eli, of course, Etling can move some. It would behoove them to throw the screen pass or as they used to call it, the pass in the flats or something, But, no, I totally agree. I like the fact the quarterback runs. Danny did a brilliant play fake on that
He did.
touchdown. I think the second touchdown.
That was a good read.
But he's got a back. He's got a bad back, and he ran double-digit times tonight. I'm just wondering about the common sense there. Look, here's what I'm hearing about Miles Brennan, guys. Miles Brennan has a big arm. Miles Brennan still needs to get much bigger and fill in. Remember, Tommy Hotson started as a redshirt freshman. He wants to get Tommy to 195, 200. But the thing that he is lacking right now, from all the inside people I hear, Bill, is between the ears and the confidence. And that's something that him and Lowell Narcisse will be the main two guys that will be battling out. TK, you mentioned it. Listen, Lowell Narcisse is perfect for some of these things that Canada is trying to do with the quarterback, and that is also the kind of quarterback that gives Alabama fits. So I think it's hand in hand. It goes in line with trying to develop that. But tonight, I just thought it was a little crazy for Danny, especially running so much in the first half.
I don't want to go off on a different tangent, but Betty, you make a good point, bringing up the other backup behind Brennan.
Yeah, he can run.
What have y'all heard about this kid from Zachary, Lindsey Scott, I believe is his name, that's at a junior college now?
Well, he was at
Coming
LSU.
back to LSU or not?
Yeah, he was at LSU and he left. And TK, you've heard some
There's
stuff.
been some rumblings about him coming back. He's at East Mississippi Community College, is up in the northeast part of the state, and they're the number one team in the country, and he is putting phenomenal numbers up. He was the National Player of the Week one week. I don't know if he wants to come back. I've heard a couple of rumblings, and I don't know. You'd have to wait and see on that. Maybe next Wednesday on Tigers Roar, we can ask Mike Scarborough of TigerBait.com about that. But I don't know if that'll happen or not. Not that it's never happened before, but it's rare for the guy to go back where he was.
Yeah, and they are recruiting. They are recruiting some high school guys that they're in on, and I think they've admitted and agreed, Bill, they need to sign a quarterback in this class.
At least one.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, last week, as y'all know, I was at the game, and I plan on going next week against A&M because all my friends in Texas are Ags, so I want to be there to see the Tigers put another one up and come out tops on the scoreboard again, And like y'all were saying earlier, keep that streak going. That bugs the crap out of my main buddy in Texas because we were in the Corps together. It's just the thing that Arkansas last week put a lot of pressure on him, and it seems like at first they want to keep Etling in the pocket, and then he holds the ball just a little too long instead of rolling away from pressure, and then later in the game they start some of the more rollout type passes or something like when he can get away from the pressure or whatever, or like y'all have commented, I know before. I think last week you said it, buddy, about he holds the ball too long. But I saw a lot of pressure last week. I saw that early this game, too. Go ahead, guys.
Well, I just wanted to say one other thing, Bill, as you were talking about your service. And last Saturday, sometimes we come in here and it goes so quick, and I don't know if we did a good enough job of thanking all the veterans last weekend on Veterans Day. And Bill, I didn't see this, and I don't know if you mentioned it. You may have mentioned it when you called in. But what an incredible performance at halftime, Bill. Did you see that last week with the LSU band?
I sure did. I appreciated that very
Oh,
much.
man, that was
the Golden band did things that I've never seen them do before. I mean, it was great to go how they used made the Eagle Globe an anchor, did a submarine for the Navy, and a jet for the Air Force. They didn't just spell out like Army, Navy, USMC or anything.
Yeah, that was awesome. That's on the internet if you pull it up. But wanted to thank you and all those people, TK. We don't say it enough, thanking all those people that have served and give us a chance to live this life that we want. And what used to be the greatest country in the world, I hope it one day isn't going to be again. But for those veterans, we can't say enough about them.
All right, Bill, thank you.
Thank you very much. See y'all next week.
Okay,
All right,
buddy.
and before we go to break, let's hope everyone has a wonderful Thanksgiving week next week. It's a great time for family and friends, and a lot of folks travel. A lot of people have friends and family travel into town. So happy Thanksgiving week to one and all out there from everyone here at Pelican.
Turkey and green onion sausage for you, huh?
Oh, yeah, I'm loaded up with Amanda stuff, so that's good stuff. Even a blind squirrel finds an acorn some days, so I happen to hit the score pretty good there. I'll probably win again next week.
Well, you hit the score right on the nail today. It was 30-13, and folks, last
30
week...
to 10.
30-10, sorry. Last week... Thomas B. hit it on the nose. And Connor
You got to be named Thomas.
No,
you got to be named Thomas.
Hey, Connor Colt missed 2 PATs last week.
So we got to get
Thomas B. to hit it, and he missed a couple more
And he hit
kicks.
the upright, and he missed the extra point, and all of a sudden TK
But
wins.
look, we're 8. We're talking about a team that's 8-3, and TK, seriously, when they were 3-2, I don't know many people in this town that would have thought that they would go 5-1 the following 6 games.
I agree with you, including me. I was wondering if they could make a bowl game. I really was. Wondering if they could win another SEC game. I wasn't the only one, but I was on that list. So, they certainly, you got to give, we get on Coach O if he didn't have the team ready, but you got to give him credit. They're finding a way to win, and if they can beat A&M, and if they can win a bowl game, that's 10 wins. That's, nobody pick that number.
And then what you gotta do though is you gotta win a few more battles.
You gotta win some battles on December 20, 21, and 22.
And this is the thing, folks. This is uncharted territory. Nobody knows at this point.
Right.
As we get closer, we're talking to Mike on Wednesday on the radio and Wednesday on the TV. We're going to get a little better handle of how many are going to sign early and how many are going to wait till February. I'm thinking LSU's going to get 15, 16, 17 early on. Lock them in. You don't have to spend any more money recruiting those guys. They want to come. They sign. And then what you have left to do with the last 8, 9, 10 scholarships, whatever you left. Uncharted territory, TK.
Might need to save some money with that new tax bill that's going to have a major effect on LSU and all universities.
Oh.
Big, we're talking tens of millions of dollars, $40, $50 million could affect LSU.
Not a good thing.
And, of course, it'll affect A&M and Tennessee and Alabama and everybody else, too. That's so what you have to hope's happening there, some of you are not familiar with the new tax thing, is right now, if you make a donation to TAF, if you itemize your taxes, you can write off 80% of that as a donation. That's going to change where you write off 0 of it. So, maybe some people are giving that money just to get the tax deduction, not just LSU, but all over the place. So what I'm hoping is happening is LSU and other schools are figuring a way around that, or another loophole in the tax code where they can figure out how they can continue to do that. Because LSU cannot even come close to affording to losing $40 or $50 million.
No.
Nor can Tennessee, Texas A&M, Ole Miss, Alabama. It'll affect them all. Might not have an effect on some of the FCS schools, a smaller effect perhaps. But that is a big story that you might want to keep your eyes on. We're going to take a break, come back with more. We welcome your phone calls, 225-928-4910, or send us a text message, as many of you are. The text message line is area code 504-689-9246. Buddy Sanji, Tommy Chrysan, CBS Sports Radio, Baton Rouge, WUBR 910 AM, smartphones, apps, mobile devices, computers, tablets, and of course, Pelican Sports TV, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, New Orleans, on the internet at PelicanSportsTV.com. Don't forget YouTube, youtube.com/Pelican Broadcasting. You can watch this program. Tigers Roar. You can watch the Roger Kadar Show, Sports Shorts. Watch some things at your convenience, youtube.com/Pelican Broadcasting. We'll be right back. Phone calls and texts. Let's mix it up.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
Woodburners, serving South Louisiana since 1977, is a family-owned and operated company with over 30 years of experience. They're the fireplace experts, providing upscale products at an affordable price. Fireplaces, glass doors, wood stoves and stove chimneys, mantles, screens, gas logs, and tool sets. Visit online at woodburnersinc.com. Call 225-752-2590 or stop by 10510 Airline Highway in Baton Rouge.
Hooper Road Car Care in Central has been serving customers for over 24 years. Locally owned by Donald and Gina Gaspard, they provide all types of car care, including brakes, alignment, tune-ups, oil changes, AC service, transmission, computer diagnostic, and much more. Hooper Road Car Care also provides towing services. Call 225-262-7127. Open Monday through Friday, 7:30 to 5:30, 9695 Hooper Road in Central.
Hi, I'm Roger Kadar. I'm here to tell you about Smith, Shanklin, and Sosa. You won't find them on billboards, but you'll find them in the courtroom where real lawyers are. You see, billboards do not solve cases. Real trial lawyers do. So if you're hurt and need a lawyer, call 225-223-6333.
Cypress Lake Apartments are conveniently located off Segan Lane in Baton Rouge, a CLK multifamily management property. Come see this community, which has many amenities including swimming pools, fitness room, playground, and much more. 1, 2, and 3 bedroom apartments. Stop by Cypress Lake Apartments, call 225-293-6789, or go online, live at cypresslakeapts.com. Laundry Diva Comforter Cleaning Sale. Get you ready for the holidays. They'll pick it up, they'll deliver it, king size, queen size, twin. Get it all cleaned up and ready for the holidays with Laundry Diva. Call them at 225-614-1326 and laundrydivau.com. Now here's the thing, pick up and delivery. They'll do your wash and fold. They'll do dry cleaning, bedding, ironing, linens, and more. And right now, in the holidays, the big comforter sale, dry clean, pick it up, deliver it, saves you time, saves you money. 225-614-1326, laundrydivau.com. They're on Coursey Boulevard. Doesn't matter where you're at, near the LSU campus, anywhere in the greater Baton Rouge area. Laundry Diva, pick up and delivery, saving you time and money. Get on the comforter cleaning sale, king, queen, twin. Also, Christmas gift cards are available with tremendous bonus cards thrown in on top of whatever you buy. Christmas gift cards, comforter cleaning sale. If you haven't tried Laundry Diva yet, you need to try it. Tell them you heard TK talking about it on television or on the radio. 25% off your first pickup. How about that? Laundry Diva, 225-614-1326, laundrydivau.com. Buddy, we continue with the Pelican Sports Post-Game Show, 30-10, the final from Knoxville. Coming up about 20 minutes, Brian Lazar of TigerBait.com will get his thoughts and comments. Also, Ronnie Rance of Sports Shorts Radio, Sports Shorts TV, and the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame Foundation. And I've gotten several texts and messages. Geist didn't say what was first told to me that he said. There was a little confusion there, but apparently he didn't say anything out of line in the postgame interview.
Well, basically, here's the deal. Geist says basically, LOL, to make it clear, I said it feels like my teeth are about to crack, not that I'm on crack. So,
good thing he clarified that. Again,
Yeah.
someone heard it and wasn't sure, but that's what we got. Hey, phone lines are open, 225-928-4910. Text message, area code 504-689-9246. Pal in Baton Rouge. Good evening, pal. You're on a post-game show.
How y'all doing tonight?
Hey, pal.
I thought the game went about like I thought it was going to go. I'll tell you on Monday that it was going to be kind of a trap game.
Yep.
And thank God the football guys for this guy fumbling the ball twice because he helped take the crowd out. I think it would have been a lot closer at halftime if he hadn't fumbled those balls. But I don't think at any time that I think we'd have lost that thing. I think the coaching staff decided that they were just going to run the ball and wear them out and eventually take over the game in the third and fourth quarter.
Looked like they were trying to score.
On a couple of games, but as beat up as Tennessee was, they could only last so long. And it showed up as the game went on. Our running game improved and improved. So that was 10 points they gave us, but it still would have been enough to win. But it sure helped take the crowd out in the first half.
Pal, it looked like LSU was throwing the ball right before half because they knew that the torrential rain was coming in, the wind was blowing, you saw the goalpost. Very conservative, TK, at the beginning. Like Pal said, I think the plan was to wear them down. Didn't want to take any chances. You know, I'm pretty sure LSU played clean again tonight, didn't they? No, I don't think they had any take. They didn't turn it over tonight, did they, Pal? LSU? No.
I don't remember turnover.
No turnovers for LSU, 2 for Tennessee.
Yeah, and so that, you know, Pal, a lot of good things. It was a boring game for a stretch there, but look, you get the W, you win by 20 on the road in the SEC, and, you know, somebody told me earlier this week, well, Florida's not any good, they only won by 1 point. Pal, you've been around long enough to know, you win in the road in the SEC, you take that victory, you go back home, don't matter if it's 1 or 30, doesn't matter if it's ugly or pretty, you take
That's
it,
right.
It's something you cherish.
That's exactly right. And, you know, it was a good game. Like I told you before, back when I was young, Tennessee used to beat the heck out of us all the time. You know, we got about a 5-game win streak on them or something, but it's just turned around. But it was good to see us win that game. And it was encouraging to see the kids play like they did in the weather that they had up there.
Well, don't forget.
Tough weather to play in.
Don't forget, Arden Key was out. Donnie Alexander was out.
Didn't make
Oh
the
yeah,
trip.
we had some people missing.
Where's
We
Tyler
definitely had people
Taylor?
missing, but everybody pretty much played hard. I thought I got kind of PO'd at Dante for letting that guy get behind him.
Yeah, he didn't have a great game.
I thought I really thought they should have pulled him out when he started that stuff in the end zone.
Yep.
Yeah, did he go back in?
I have to have a talk with him or something.
Did he stay in the game after that penalty, pal?
Oh yeah.
That's inexcusable. I hope somebody asked Coach Orgeron about that Monday.
Yeah, well, anyway.
You
But
can't
anyway,
do that. I mean, you can't let him stay.
It was not good, but right. But you gonna say something?
No, go ahead, pal.
No, I was just kind of PO'd at him. You know, you don't get your accolades on the field. If you do something good, you get your accolades in the field room later.
Well, they had an article the last couple of weeks trying to compare him to Tyrann Mathieu, and
that's a joke.
And no disrespect, Tyrann Mathieu is a bigger boned body. Tyrann Matthews
Tyrann
well
Matthews
over
100 times better than Dante Jackson.
but he's well over 200 pounds now with Arizona.
Well, but that's...
And Dante is a sprinter who's playing football. He's incredibly fast. He's already dropped 2 pick sixes this year, but they wanted to say this is a new Honey Badger, and
that's a
it
joke.
blew
That's
up.
an insult.
He's not close to that.
I'm not a fan of the Honey Badger, but that's an insult to the Honey Badger.
Well, it'd be interesting to see what him and Kevin Tolliver do at the end of the year as far as coming back, pal.
He's a fast guy with a big ego.
Yep.
And his ego is going to catch up to him if he goes pro this year.
There's no doubt about it. I agree with
play
you.
in the NFL. All right, pal.
Thank you,
Appreciate
pal.
it.
All right.
Thank you for the call. Let's go back to the lives. Rocco's in Baton Rouge. Rocco, you're on a post-game show.
Hey, buddy, tell me what's happening. Just had to give me a couple of cups of coffee to keep me awake.
Yeah, Rocco. Oh.
Yeah, I mean, goodness gracious. But, one thing I have to say, that was a trap game, and it had it all over it. I mean, that was the setting for the worst of the worst to happen. Head coach gets fired, team's pumped up, they're ready to play. They come out and they played very well the first quarter, and for most part the first half. But for us to be sitting here, and I was in the Troy game. I thought the sky was falling. I mean, I really did, and I didn't know what direction this program was going to go in. And hey, look, let's be truthful here. I mean, we're young. We got a quarterback who tries to execute the offense as best as he can. He's not very talented. He's got some skills, but he's not the division quarterback that we want to have. There's guys was hurt beginning of the year. We had a lot of injuries. And all these things, putting them together, to get to the point where we are now, as horrendous as some of the play calling was at the beginning of the game, it was horrible.
Yeah.
I don't think any of us could sit here and say to ourselves we would ever thought we'd be at this point right now. Now, if they beat Troy, we got a possibility of an 11-win season and going to a major bowl. I'm talking like one of the, Fiesta Bowl or one of the Rose Bowl or, one of the bigger bowls.
Right.
It's crazy to see it turn out the way it did. But you got to give them credit. I mean, you have to give them credit where credit's due.
And the other thing, Rocco, you got to look at the fact that they kicked Auburn's butt, and Auburn has turned out to be a whole lot better than anybody thought they would
wait
be,
a minute
and they
now.
got a chance to win the West.
They kicked him in the second half, but now Auburn was.
Well, they still.
But just in one half. And I wouldn't want to
They
say.
won the game.
They did, but they didn't
Okay,
kick
that's
Auburn's
my
butt.
point.
Auburn butt was up 20 whatever to nothing.
Yeah, but I mean, they smoked a team that might be in the
win the game.
playoff.
They did win the game, but I'm not going to say they kicked
They
Auburn's
beat
butt.
a team that might be in the playoff.
I don't think they'll be in the
If
playoff.
they beat Bama and Georgia, they in the playoff.
Probably so.
Auburn beats Alabama. I do. It's just me. I'm going to go out on a limb, and I think it's this year that Auburn beats Alabama. Now, people can call me crazy, but Alabama's banged up.
Yep.
We gave them a big punch in the face, and then Mississippi State came right behind us, did the same thing, and they dinged up right now, and they played, what was it, Mercersville? I never even heard of that college. Where's that college at?
Somewhere in Georgia.
Anybody can tell me?
Macon, Georgia.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if did y'all watch some of the, I think it was the Michigan game today.
I watched a little bit of that.
Yeah, how they were talking about the Big 12 and the Big 10 and the SEC opponents towards the end of the year playing, these SCAD games that aren't worth a hoot and this, that, and the other, and they're making a point that, the leagues are stronger because the SEC plays nobody towards the end of the year. I'm like, when's the last time they looked at LSU schedule? Because the last 4 years in a row, we have been playing the hardest games towards the end of the year, and that's the way it's always been. But again, I mean, for us to be at this point and the opportunity to even go 9-3 and possibly 10-3 is just crazy. I mean, it really is. But again, I mean, as big as I was a naysayer after the loss of that Troy game, I got to give these kids some credit. I mean, they really strapped up their boots. Now, TK, I'm with you 110%. That guy should have been put on the bench immediately after that. And I was wondering if any of y'all saw it, but somebody said he gave him the number one, but I could have swore I saw him, slip the finger in that.
Well, I think he did both, Rocco.
Yeah. I thought it was just me, but I mean, I saw
No.
it. And I'm going to tell you, I was the one, at the beginning of the year that always have said I think the problem with this team will be the discipline factor. I think they allowed them to be a little bit too loose. I think all that the baloney after they make a good play has got to stop.
Too much mustard on the hot dog, Rocco.
I mean, yeah, it's like, at what point do you put an end to it, though, buddy? You know, at what point do you put your foot down and say, let's play the way we're supposed to be playing, and let's act like we've been there?
Hey, we said it, Rocco, and look, and you don't want to take away the fun and the passion, but my goodness, you're beating an 0-6 team, and some of those guys were doing all of this stuff. Dante Jackson, there's no doubt about it, and it's something that I think we're going to monitor in the future. Are you going to make your guys adhere to more discipline so that when they act like a knucklehead, you sit them down? Because the most important thing a coach has is playing time, because they want to get to the league, and if you take the playing time, he learns. All this running and all that hurts you physically, but if you sit him down, that hurts him in the pocketbook and his brand, and Dante Jackson should not have gone back into the game.
Didn't he got a penalty, correct?
Yes, he did.
But it doesn't matter if he did number one or he did the salute. If he got a penalty, he should have been out of the game right away. I was in transit from the house to the studio while that happened. I was listening to Doug Morrow and them talking about the game.
He was doing like this, and then I think it went like this.
Okay, so I didn't see. But Rocco texted me earlier that he thought he saw that.
Yeah.
And again, I was in transit, so I didn't see it. But regardless, if he drew a penalty, he should have been on the bench, in my opinion.
But Rocco, they've been doing that all year, and I think
it's got to stop.
But it's got to stop, and that's when you got to be more disciplined with your team, Rocco. I think that
have some class,
you know, and act like you've been there, Rocco. You said it the right way.
You know, my thing is, buddy. My thing is, you know, and I've watched Miami play this year, and as great as a job as they've done over there with Mark Wright. I mean, I just look at them, you know, every game, and they do all this ridiculous celebratory crap after they make a routine play, and I don't want that for LSU football.
Yeah.
You know, I just don't want that for our program. So I hope he puts a wrap on it and tries to get that under control before it gets out of control more than it is now.
Or if you draw that 15-yard penalty in a game that's close and it affects the outcome of the game.
Yeah, and that very well could have happened tonight at some point. We don't know, but I mean that could be something.
Well, no, but if
down the road.
If it's a tie game and you do that and the other team gets the win and score, I mean, you know, you're hurting your team because you're trying to be selfish and draw individual attention to yourself. It's a team game.
There is no I in team, my TK.
Right, there you go, Rocco. Appreciate it.
Take care, buddy.
All right, buddy, you know, when you look at some of these stats now.
What did Geis have for the night?
97. Almost got to 100.
But he's over 1,000 now for the year.
Yeah, let's see here. We got Edlin was 11 of 16 for 81 yards.
Wow.
Whoa. Geis, 24 carries, 97 yards. Darrell Williams, 7 carries for 68.
Should have been more.
9 carries for 42. Question. Why don't they run the Wildcat more when they had success with it in the one big play against Bama? I mean, and again, why running Etling 9 times when they said his back was hurt and he almost didn't play last week?
You and I were texting, and listen, folks, sometimes we throw something against the wall and it sticks, and then other times it's crazy talk. But as I watched the beginning of that game, it reminded me of a guy calling plays to show the head coach
that he's the offensive coordinator.
But something was not right with the head coach and the offensive coordinator. That scripted of the first 15 plays was about as bad as you could draw it up. And, there's been rumors of problems, and it would not surprise me.
We know there were problems.
There was definitely problems.
There was a big verbal shouting match that people witnessed. Ed Orgeron admitted that he meddled with the offensive game plan before that one game, then admitted to it and said he wouldn't do that anymore. So there has been friction. Now, was there friction this week? I don't know the answer to that. But I know there has been friction, and now you got the rumblings that whether or not he'll be here next year.
Yeah, and none of us will know that, but I'm just saying that was not a typical LSU offense to start the game. And had Tennessee not muffed a couple of points, Tigers would have been behind in that game. But look, I think Rocco made an excellent point, TK. It's nice to see LSU 8-3. By the way, Tiger fans, this is the 18th consecutive year that LSU has won 8 or more games. Now, this is what I posed on the radio show. When you get Manda Sausage or Tremonti's Turkeys or Sullivan's Steakhouse or all the great sponsors that we have, you set a very high level. And LSU had a national championship with Nick Saban, and then shortly thereafter had one less than 5 years later with Les Miles. And so all of a sudden, you haven't seen a championship for 45 and you get one, the culmination of 03. And then the only team to ever win with 2 losses and win it in this present form, TK, 8-4, they want more. And so my point is, that's a pretty gaudy record when you sit there and say, there's not many teams. Alabama can't say that. You're talking 18 consecutive years of 8 more.
Longest streak in the nation.
But when you get that filet mignon in your mouth, it's hard to go back to red beans and rice. And right now, 8-4 in Tiger Town is red beans and rice, and 11-1, 13-1 when they or 13-0 in regular season is the filet mignon. So I think everybody will agree. Number one, this was a transition and a rebuilding year. But TK, what kind of expectations do you think Tiger fans are going to have going forward?
Well, they're going to be big. They're going to be really big.
I mean, they're going to expect 10.
Especially if they beat A&M, win the bowl game.
That'll get them to 10.
And they're going to be in a bowl game. We just don't know. They're absolutely going to be in a bowl game.
No doubt. And probably in Florida.
Yeah, so we'll see how that goes, and then next year we'll get into the expectations.
But my question is, if he wins 9 or 10, people will be happy, but at some point, you know what they're going to want.
And they want him to win the West, go to Atlanta, go to the playoff.
Exactly,
that's what it's all about.
Exactly, and that's a tough problem that you have to deal with. And until you do that, you gotta start taking some away from Saban in the recruiting game, and you got to beat him on the field.
I know for a fact.
Down the line,
your old buddy Carl Dunbar.
Yeah.
He was at the Dutchtown West Monroe game last night. Okay. Was any LSU coach there? I don't know the answer to that. Maybe there was, but Alabama stays in the backyard.
Oh, they every.
All right, a quick look at a few stats before we connect with Brian Lazar of TigerBait.com. Tennessee had more offense, slightly, 287 to 281. Time of possession, just about, just a little bit towards Tennessee. Passing Tennessee 249, LSU only 81. LSU rushed for 200 yards. Going into the game, I thought they'd have more than that.
I did too.
Tennessee only rushed for 38. That's a credit to the front of the LSU defense. Only 1 penalty for LSU. We must talk about that because that's been a big thing. And that was the pass interference on your pal Dante Jackson. 5 penalties on Tennessee. Tennessee had the 2 fumbled punts that they lost. LSU did not turn it over, so a +2 for LSU in that turnover margin. We'll take a break. When we come back, Brian Lazar of TigerBait.com will get his thoughts on the game and looking ahead to Texas A&M next week. Don't forget, next week it's a 6:30 kick. We'll be here about 9:45, give or take a few minutes. You know the drill. Once again, final score from Knoxville, LSU 30, Tennessee 10. Buddy Sanji, Tommy Chrysan, stay with us.
For Total Home Pest Control, who are you going to call?
Call the Bug Man, 923-BUGS.
For total pest control for your home or business, call the original Salvant.
Call the Bug Man today, 923-BUGS.
Relief Window. Experience Relief Window.
When my wife and I started Relief Windows, what we were trying to do, what our goal was to give a quality job to a homeowner. Everybody's scared of contractors. We wanted to change the mold of what that is. Not showing up on time, not answering the phone, somebody running with your money. The reason why you should pick Relief Windows to do your renovation of your home, windows, doors, HardiePlank, or siding, is because of the experience, quality service of our company. Service is everything we have. It's the foundation of our company. We're going to show up on time. We're going to do the job right. Over 60% of our customers is customer referral. We're a local company here in Baton Rouge, built in Baton Rouge, staying in Baton Rouge. Okay. The job's not done until you're happy and we're happy. It's built the old-fashioned way, with a handshake. Here at Relief Windows, it's an honor to be official window, door, and signing company of LSU Athletics, from one winning team to another.
We continue with the Pelican Sports post-game show right now, as we do after each and every game. We're going to connect with Brian Lazar of TigerBait.com. Good evening, Brian. How are you?
Good. How y'all doing tonight?
Good. What did Coach Orgeron have to say right after the game?
Well, you know, he really, you know, he said he was proud of the way the offense grinded things out, but you could tell he was a little bit upset, really, with how they blocked Tennessee particularly in the first half. He said, we thought we could run the ball outside on them, and we couldn't, and they stopped us. And then he made an interesting comment. He said we finally started making the right calls, and we finally blocked them. So, you know, that second half drive, you know, that was the whole key. Tennessee scores right before the half to make it 17-10. They muffed the second half kickoff. They start from inside their 5. So LSU gets good field position at the midfield, and then they just run the ball 9 straight plays to score a touchdown, and that's it, 23-10, and the game's over at that point. So you know, the running game was better in the second half. They didn't really try to throw it. He says they weren't going to throw the ball in the wind, and they didn't throw it. I think Etling threw it 15 times and completed 11, and 6 of the 11 completions were to the 2 backs. So you know, they were better in the second half running the ball, and that was it. And the other thing he mentioned, he was very disappointed in some of the man coverage by the defensive backs again. You know, Tolliver made a bad play there on one deep ball, and then they gave up the long touchdown pass. So, you know, you look at it, it's very similar to last week's game against Arkansas. It's close for a half, and then LSU, certainly the better team, and pulled away in the second half. Look, I thought Tennessee is definitely the worst team that LSU's played in the conference. I thought they were much worse than Arkansas. They had no way of moving the football on LSU.
Brian, Canada scripts his first 15 plays every game, correct?
Well, yeah. I mean, all coordinators are doing that now.
Okay,
you know,
well,
when you say scripts, it's according to the situation.
I understand field position, all that.
Right. I mean, here's the first time we have 3rd and 6. This is what we're going to call. The first time we have 1st and 10. This is what we're going to call. That's what we're talking about.
Well, but here's where I'm going with. Missouri had 662 yards against Tennessee last week. LSU didn't get 300. LSU did not make a first down in the first quarter and had a total of 17 yards. So I guess what I'm asking is, could you tell this was a concern of Coach O's? And did he have some voice inflection that may have intimated that him and Canada are still going through this thing? It just did not look like the Canada called offense that they were doing 2 or 3 games ago. I know weather was a factor, but I don't know. That first quarter was certainly not something that anybody could have been proud of, much less the guy making $1.5 million a year.
They didn't block anybody, buddy. It doesn't matter what, they tried to run the ball and they couldn't block them. You just go, if you look back on the tape, you could see that, there was nowhere for LSU to run. The first time they ran a jet sweep, like on the second or third play of the game, it was tackled for a loss. So, Tennessee, LSU was unable to block Tennessee's front. That's the difference. You talk to all the players, and they always say, forget the play call. If the play call isn't executed, it's not going to work. And I think that's what it was in the first half. And I think that's why, Ed was saying on more than one occasion that we finally started to block them. So I think what he was upset with, that in the first half, they certainly just didn't block Tennessee.
What about all the runs with Danny Etling in the first half?
All designs that it's been in he says Canada has that in his playbook, and he just used it tonight, which is something that, he hasn't done much this year.
Yeah, a guy just coming off of a bad back, a stiff back. It makes sense.
I got a question, and this may have to come up to Coach Orgeron on Monday. Am I correct that Tennessee chose to take the ball in the third quarter? They deferred the option to the second half, correct?
The option, let's see.
They deferred it, and then they got the ball third quarter.
Deferred, right? Tennessee deferred to start the game.
So then at the halftime, they chose to take the ball. Why did LSU go into the win in the fourth quarter?
I can't answer.
I know, that's what I'm saying. There may have to be something on Monday. Why, if they choose the ball, you decide which way you're kicking. Wouldn't you want to win behind you in the fourth quarter?
Well, he may have said we're going to try to put it out of hand right here to start.
Well, that would be the thing, step on them, yeah.
Yeah, I think that, in other words, you didn't want to it worked perfectly.
It worked. Yeah. But
took the win and pinned them back there. So, I don't think he was thinking at halftime, this is going to be a fourth quarter game. I think he was thinking at halftime, look, let's put these guys away finally right now, and let's not fool around anymore.
Brian, what was the official stat sheet with Connor Culp? Let's see, he missed the field goal from about what?
He hit the upright from 53.
53.
Hit the upright and missed from that last.
So he missed 2 field goals and one PAT?
Missed an extra point and was 1 of 3 on field goals. And now Ed did say after the game that we'll have to go to Gonzo on the kick next week. Now,
okay.
I mean, I don't know. That's look, this is what they do all year. They normally just, whoever kicks the best during the week of practice gets the kick. So I'm assuming that this week in practice, Culp was bad last week, but the fact that Culp kicked tonight just tells me that Gonsolin must have been no better in practice than Culp this week.
Von Rosenberg punted the ball really well tonight in, weather conditions that aren't conducive to punting.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Look, and the two, just think about this. If Tennessee doesn't muff the 2 points, or the 2 punts in the first half, I mean, there's no LSU could have been losing at halftime.
Yeah, no doubt.
Did nothing on offense. They finally had the one drive there, but really all night long, LSU they recovered fumbled punts at the 15 and the 19. He got a touchdown and a field goal. That's 10 points. They got Tennessee went for it on 4th and inches on its own 20, and they didn't make it, and that gave LSU a touchdown there. So that's 17 of their points. The first touchdown in the second half came after taking over at midfield following, the punt. So look, LSU's offense, it did
Yeah, that's what I was pointing out earlier.
It did nothing. It did nothing tonight. But, didn't have to do anything. And look, the weather, it comes out, it rains, and it rains hard there at halftime and early in the third quarter. Ogeron said that he thought that the rain like that fired the players up. But, look, I just thought this was LSU going out there sort of like, oh, well, we're going to probably win this game too, and it just took them, a half before they did it. Now, I'll say this, and that the team they're playing next week is not like Arkansas and Tennessee.
No, it'll be totally different.
They're much better than them, too.
It'll be totally
Texas
different.
A&M is much better, and I really think that this is going to be a very interesting game because look, A&M is now sitting there at 7-4. They have not had a winning conference record since someone's first year and A&M's first year in the conference. So they're playing for a winning record in the conference next week. And look, is someone fired? Well, I don't know. If you say he wins next week, he finishes 8-4, and he finishes 5-3 in the league, which would be his first winning record in the conference in 4 years. I mean, I don't know. Does that save his job? That'll be a close call. So if you have players who really like someone, they're going to come out and play real hard next week. And on top of that, you just have the fact, that Tennessee's losing streak to LSU is embarrassing to the Aggie players. And that's something that's going to be harped on. So I think it's going to be a good game next week. And look, Buddy and Tommy, if LSU loses at home next week and ends up, 8-4 and 5-3 in the league, I think it's going to take a lot of luster off this season.
Yeah, and most players like their coach. They gave him a scholarship, okay? Yeah, I'm sure you could find a handful on every team that aren't wild and crazy about the head coach, but most players like the coach that gave them the opportunity. I think that's the case. Hey, Brian, tell everybody what's happening at TigerBait.com.
www.tigerbait.com. We'll have, I believe the rewind is already up on the site. We'll have analysis up a little bit later. The grades will go up tomorrow. Also have a basketball story going up tomorrow looking at overview as LSU heads to Maui for its first game in the Maui tournament on Monday night against Michigan.
What time is that game?
It's a 10:30 tip.
What network?
I think it's ESPNU, I believe.
Okay. Are you heading to Maui, Brian?
I'm not heading to Maui.
Hey, Brian, final question on my end, and I know Coach O will get asked about it Monday if he wasn't today, but Coach Aranda, they showed the graphic. LSU is the 6th worst team in the country defending the screen. I know they've been working hard to get better at the screen. It doesn't look like it's gotten any better. Was he asked about that? And is A&M much of a screen team?
I don't know about A&M, how much of a screen. I don't think they are because usually spread teams don't.
Yeah, I hadn't seen them do screens. But
don't throw screens. Look, you get beat on screens, that's linebacker play because that's linebackers. I know the first one tonight, there was one of them early that Tyler Taylor was totally out of position on. He was late getting to the back, out the backfield. Tennessee hurt him with the dump-offs as much as the screens tonight, just little swing passes in the back. And they should know, look, Kelly is Tennessee's leading receiver, so it should not surprise them if they went to him a lot.
All right, Brian, as always, we appreciate it. Happy Thanksgiving to you and the family.
Talk to you Tuesday,
Happy Thanksgiving to y'all, too.
Okay, buddy.
All right, that's Brian Lazar of TigerBait.com. Don't forget, next week, LSU, Texas A&M. A&M beats Ole Miss tonight, 31-24. Big recruiting weekend. We'll have Mike Scarborough of TigerBait.com on Tigers Roar this coming week with an update on that. Buddy will have him on the radio on Wednesday as well. Short week for the local radio with Thanksgiving holiday. We'll make all those announcements during the week as well. A couple of little programming changes for you this week with the holiday. We'll take a break. When we come back, we're going to Knoxville, Tennessee. We'll connect with Ronnie Rance, Sports Shorts Radio, Sports Shorts TV, and the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame Foundation. We'll do that when we return with more of the Pelican Sports Postgame Show. Stay with us.
Hello, my name is Debbie. Welcome to Debbie's Bridal, a Formal Affair.
My name's Raven. I work at Debbie's Bridal, and she makes your dreams come true.
Accord Eye Clinic Vision Source is located on Perkins Road in Baton Rouge, offering full-service optical and lab work. Dr. Shonda Accord and the professionally trained staff pride themselves on service, complete eye exams, help with contact lenses, and selection of frames featuring Silhouette, Gucci, Jimmy Choo, and all the top lines. State-of-the-art equipment including Optimap, which digitally photographs your retina. Call Accord Eye Clinic for an appointment, 225-767-3937. That's 225-767-3937. Visit the website, visionsource-br.com. All patients of all ages are welcome. Accord Eye Clinic, Vision Source.
Woodburners, serving South Louisiana since 1977, is a family-owned and operated company with over 30 years of experience. They're the fireplace experts, providing upscale products at an affordable price. Fireplaces, glass doors, wood stoves and stove chimneys, mantles, screens, gas logs, and tool sets. Visit online at woodburnersinc.com. Call 225-752-2590 or stop by 10510 Airline Highway in Baton Rouge.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
Hi, I'm Jordy Helper for Tremonti's Meat and Seafood Market at 12451 Old Jefferson Highway. Chairman's Reserve steaks, their pork, their chicken, their seafood, top of the line. Primo barbecue pits, Icy Tech coolers. They can go anywhere and cater anything for you. Go to 751-7665 to call Tremonti's Meat and Seafood Market, where good meat ain't cheap and cheap meat ain't good. Tremonti's Meat and Seafood Market.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
Continue with the Pelican Sports Post-Game Show. We're going to go up to Knoxville, Tennessee. We're going to visit with Ronnie Rance of Sports Shorts Radio, Sports Shorts TV, and the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame Foundation up in Natchitoches. Ronnie, good evening. How are you?
Doing well, fellas.
Hey, you were in the locker room after the game. What players did you talk to? What did they have to say?
Well, it was an excited locker room. You know, they got to crank up the music, and everybody was in a pretty good mood, even though the game didn't win any style points, for beauty, but it did, obviously, it took care of business. And, you know, when I talked to Zach Von Rosenberg for the first time this year at Big Night Putting, and I talked with Geis and some others, and to a man, they pretty much said, hey, what I just reiterated, Geis talked about how the game plan changed a number of times during the week, kind of according to the weather. They ran the ball a lot more than they anticipated going into the game today. Particularly in that second half, the doors to the actual locker room were hard to open because of the storm, the wind, and the rain that happened at halftime. It took about 5-10 minutes for them to get adjusted when they came out of the locker room at halftime because of the field conditions. They all said that was the strongest rain they'd ever played in. And Geis said, that he actually played without the gloves in the second half to hold the football better. and that was a point of emphasis, was just kind of taking care of the football. And I think both teams knew that they were going to run the ball, so it was tough sledding offensively in that second half, and LSU won the battle just grinding it out on the ground.
Ronnie, did you get soaking wet, or you stayed out of that?
No, I was smart enough and fortunate to be in that dry press box, but it was incredible. I mean, it was windy. The temperatures were about 60 degrees at kickoff. It was windy, but that was fine. But in the first half, a little bit of spit rain every once in a while. But in the second half, it was a deluge, and it was actually a town not far from Knoxville where that storm came through, knocked out some power in that area. So they knew it was going to be a bad storm, and it was for about 15 minutes.
Jumbo, back to Geis. Last year we all talked about it. He was the running better than Fournette, and Leonard was banged up. And this year Darrell just seems to be doing a better job going north-south and hitting the hole. And why he didn't get more reps tonight, I don't know. 24-7, certainly questionable. The play calling is certainly questionable tonight. But what do you see from Derrius Guice? Last year this guy, 96 yards against A&M and 280-something yards to break the record that Fournette had set by a yard. What do you think's really going on, and is it all injury related?
Well, I don't think it's all injury related, and we will give him credit. Didn't he have about 280 or whatever against Ole Miss? And we maybe take it for granted and think that that's a little more common than it is. I mean, he's the only running back in the SEC to have 3 games over 250. So
right.
I think that this offense this year is just more stagnant. They're not throwing the ball downfield. They're not for the most part. They have games like tonight where they even throw for 100 yards. Etling is not a big time quarterback, and so I think the play calling. You got a different coordinator. I think the play calling's different. I don't think the offensive line is as good as it was a year ago, and I think teams are just we know they load the box to a certain extent, but they are definitely doing that. And against an offensive line, it's not playing that great. And I think there's something to the fact that Geis isn't 100%. There doesn't seem to be a lot of weight behind his runs, meaning I felt like he ran harder last year from a standpoint of we saw him break more tackles. We saw him run over people at times last year. We saw him fall forward. This year, those things aren't happening as often.
Ronnie, we knew going into the game, we thought Tennessee was one of the worst teams in the league. They validated that tonight. A lot of people here on the postgame show talking about the slow start by LSU. They weren't ready. They didn't get fired up. They knew it was Tennessee, and Tennessee is really, really bad, not just statistically, but now that we saw them, up close and you saw them in person. Your thoughts on that old saying, like you can't get them up every game because sometimes you just know the opponent's not there. Did you sense that being in the stadium?
Well, I didn't, and I talked to Rashard Lawrence, and I asked him about it. And he said, no, there is juice about playing an Eastern Conference foe in a stadium that you're not familiar with, right? So they're, regardless of Tennessee's record, they knew they were going to get Tennessee's best shot because of the coaching change. That adds a little fire to it. They're in a big time historical stadium on the road. None of those guys have played in it before, so that right there brings some juice to the table. And oh, by the way, they were honoring the '97 championship.
We saw that.
But Peyton Manning was at the game.
Yeah.
So there were a lot of reasons to be fired up, and I don't think that this was one of those non-conference opponents where you don't get pumped up and you're wearing the purple jersey.
Jumbo, John Chavis back, returned to Baton Rouge and Tiger Stadium. You being the media mogul guy that you are, have we ever found out what actually happened with the lawsuit?
Well, they settled.
I know they settled, but nobody knows the parameters of who paid what. And second question, Jumbo, is this Kevin Sumlin a game that he has to win, or is he going anyway? What are you hearing on A&M and Sumlin, his future?
Well, when I was down in the locker room, A&M was up 4. Did they end up winning?
They ended up winning by 7.
They won 31-24 final A&M wins.
Okay, that's a big one, and I think he saves his job with an LSU win, and if he loses the LSU game and it's competitive, then chance I would lean towards he is gone. but I don't think it's a surefire thing. And the reason I say that is because there's so many jobs that are open out there. And unless you got a bird in the hand, unless you got a guy for sure locked up, you may end up, it may end up being the fourth or fifth, job out there, where in some years it could be one or two. But as far as like the gory details and all that, no, I'm in the dark just like you. I don't know what the settlement number is, and will we ever admit that somebody changed the contract? Who knows? Because that's what Chavis claims.
Well, they did admit that they did change it, and that's why they probably had to go ahead and settle. Ronnie, before you get out of here, tell us all about Sports Shorts Radio, Sports Shorts TV, and anything that's happening with the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame Foundation.
And by the way, real quick, I asked Geist, is there any extra juice by playing Chavis, Keith? And he said, I didn't even think about that till you told me. So that answers that question.
Them kids don't think about that.
Yeah, Sports Shorts TV right here in Pelican, Mondays at 9, Tuesdays at 8. And then, of course, Sports Shorts Radio, ESPN Radio. Check us out, 6 to 8 on ESPN in Baton Rouge. And we've got a lot of great Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame stuff. Peyton Manning, by the way, going into Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame in 2019.
All right, Ronnie, have safe travels back home.
Thank you, Jumbo.
Thanks, guys.
All right, we will take our final break of the night, then we'll come back and put a wrap on some things. Once again, your final score from Knoxville, LSU 30, Tennessee 10. Up next for LSU, Texas A&M, 6:30 kick next Saturday. A&M beat Ole Miss today, 31-24. Should be a heck of a game. It's senior night for the Tigers. Let's hope there's a huge crowd on hand. Buddy Sanji, Tommy Chrysan, we'll come back and put a wrap on it. CBS Sports Radio, Pelican Sports TV. Stay with us. Cypress Lake Apartments are conveniently located off Segan Lane in Baton Rouge, a CLK multifamily management property. Come see this community, which has many amenities including swimming pools, fitness room, playground, and much more. 1, 2, and 3 bedroom apartments. Stop by Cypress Lake Apartments, call 225-293-6789, or go online, live at cypresslakeapts.com.
6, 5, 4, 3.
I'm back. Roger Cador here. Come watch Clarence Bugs and I as we team up to bring up all of the positive things taking place at Southern University in the state of Louisiana. It can all be seen on the Pelican Sports. That's the best one. That's it. That's a wrap. That's a wrap. That's the best one.
Creel Tree Service is a licensed and insured tree service providing tree and stump removal, topping, trimming, cabling, pruning, and fertilizing. We have free stump removal with takedowns, free estimates, affordable rates, and senior citizens discounts. Call 774-TREE. That's 774-8733. Get your yard ready for the warmer weather. If it deals with a tree, call me, Creel Tree Service, 774-8733. That's 774-TREE.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
Hooper Road Car Care in Central has been serving customers for over 24 years. Locally owned by Donald and Gina Gaspard, they provide all types of car care, including brakes, alignment, tune-ups, oil changes, AC service, transmission, computer diagnostic, and much more. Hooper Road Car Care also provides towing services. Call 225-262-7127. Open Monday through Friday, 7:30 to 5:30, 9695 Hooper Road in Central. segment of the post-game show here on radio and TV. We're here next Saturday night about 9:30 after the A&M game. Buddy was telling me some very interesting numbers about Texas A&M LSU while we were at the break. Bud, man, share them with the viewers and listeners.
Well, I think most of the LSU fans know that LSU has not lost to Texas A&M since the Aggies came back to the conference. 5 straight in the conference. Plus, they beat him in the Cotton Bowl 41-24. You remember the 3 freshmen, Tyrann Mathieu, Eric Reed, Farrell Simon, all having INTs in that game. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see what I do think this is going to be a very competitive game. But Geis last year, if you remember, 96 yards from scrimmage, and I'm worried about number 5. He just doesn't have that burst. You'd like to get him back. I think it will be an electric stadium, It is very big for recruiting, as you've said.
Big recruiting weekend. And again, we'll have Mike Scarborough of TigerBait.com on Tigers Roar. Buddy will have him on the radio Wednesday to get you the very latest on that. And then, of course, we'll recap it the following week. Buddy, I do this to you every week. What kind of point spread you looking at with LSU and A&M?
Well, we've been saying that it's going to be double-digit for all the last 3 games. What was it for Arkansas? 17?
And then 15.5 is what it closed
15.5.
at.
I'm going to go with LSU 10, 10.5, 11.
I'm going to agree with you. You're better at that than I, but I'm going to agree with you. I think 10 or 11 it'll open, and the money will move it one way or the other.
And fans, remember this if you're in the stadium or watching on TV. If LSU gets in a crucial 3rd down situation late in the game, the history says the Tigers are going to pick up the 1st down or score the touchdown. Look, we all talk about Coach Chavis, and I know he did a lot of great things with Les when he was here. But he's at the end of his career. We know Sumlin's fighting for his job. Those seniors don't want to leave Baton Rouge. And Brian and Jumbo both made good comments. If the Tigers would lose this last game 8-4, not nearly the momentum and the pop out of this season, then 9-3, go and play Michigan State or somebody like that in Florida in the bowl game on January 1.
And I'll have to look up the numbers, and I'll have them on the radio this week. But there are a number of guys from Texas on the LSU roster and a number of guys from Louisiana on the A&M roster. And I don't have those numbers in front of me, but it's a bunch. So, that's part of it. It's the last game, the rivalry. It's senior night. Typically you're underclassmen. They want to send them seniors out with a little W. That's like a little unwritten locker room rule. Like, hey, we got to make sure they walk off the field for the last time with a win. That'll be part of it. And I don't know what the weather's going to be next Saturday, but let's hope it's the biggest crowd of the year, because the crowds have not been what anybody wants them to be. Let's hope that just fills up, gets close to being capacity next week.
And our last chance to talk to all of you. We hope that you and yours have a very blessed and happy Thanksgiving. We appreciate all the loyalty with our listeners, our callers, the ones that watch us on TV and radio. And TK, eat the turkey. Once again, we won't be on the local radio shows Thursday or Friday. We'll be back here with the pillows in our bellies after enjoying Thanksgiving with the families, and hopefully sometime about 10 o'clock LSU. I'm going to call this a very close game. I think A&M brings a lot to the table. I expect the Tigers to play appreciably better next weekend.
Yeah, and I'll have a score to predict for you next week, but I think it's close in the 4th quarter. I really do. Hey, one more time, on behalf of everyone involved with Pelican Broadcasting on the TV end, the radio end, that's a lot of people. Happy Thanksgiving week to one and all. Happy Thanksgiving Day. Great time for family, friends, great food, all that good stuff. So happy Thanksgiving to one and all. We thank all the listeners, the viewers, the callers, the text messages. On behalf of the gentleman on my left, Buddy Sanji, on behalf of everybody on the crew, I'm Tommy Christ saying Tigers win 30-10. That's your final from Knoxville.